Recreating this amazing VFX from Terminator Dark Fate has been something I've been working on for a while now. I searched on YouTube to see how this effect was created, but I found none. Utilizing the idea I used in creating Venom series, I decided to give it a try. I wanted to use Houdini, but I lost access to Houdini on my computer, so I resorted to recreating this effect in Blender. First up is gathering the shots I needed to recreate, which is this and this. I got a green screen footage of me making the exact movement in action. Using avatar.com, I did a photo scan of myself and generated a 3D model of me, few retouch and exported out GLB files. I fire on Blender, import a 3D model. I tried test running using the IVGen on Monkey Mesh, but didn't get the result I wanted. So I decided to use nodes, entirely procedural. I imported the head model using geometry nodes, brought the mesh circle into the point and curve line into the instance, applied the normal nodes to vector and rotation to rotation using geometry proximity node and made it stick to the mesh. I duplicated the whole setup geometry into point, applied endpoint selection node and set it to 0. I continued by applying series of nodes to get the desired result. Let me rush through the process. I varied the radius of the spline by applying setpoint radius. After applying series of nodes, I resorted to having this. Now moving on to texturing. Using principal BSDF, I selected a black color, bring down the roughness to make it shiny. I applied Musgrave texture, created an adjustment using color ramp. Since there is no UV attached, I created a UV and plugged that in. I dragged the capture attribute into the main pipe and linked the spline parameter, and the attribute goes into the Y values. I applied the mapping node, set up the Y values in order to have a random motion towards our desired direction. Using mixed RGB nodes, plugged in the color ramp, color into factor, attribute color into factor. By applying series of nodes and several adjustments, I got my desired result. I render it as a PNG sequence, fire on Adobe After Effects for compositing. Since I have a green screen footage, I keyed out the background using the image of a warehouse I got from Big Films as my background. With several adjustments and color correction right in Adobe After Effects, and it is done. Now we're creating this scene. Using the 3D scan of myself from avatar.com, I imported it into Blender. Since it is already rigged, I animated it manually. Using the footage from Terminator Dark Fate as reference, I dragged it into Blender, aligned it correctly with my rigged 3D character. Apply keyframes and it is animated correctly. I added a point light, changed the render engine to circle, selected GPU compute, I select the plane and enable shadow cacher. Adjusted the light to get a nice shadow. I enabled transparency and render it out as a PNG sequence. Right in Adobe After Effects, I import the PNG sequence using the same image of a warehouse as my background. I composite the shot, several adjustments and color correction, and it is done. Recreating this effect from Terminator Dark Fate was never easy. Although my result is not that perfect, but my joy is that I have created an insight to how it can be done. You can also apply this idea or strategy to create this effect. Or if you have found another way of creating this? Please let us know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Bye.